Hey friends, what's up? Ash here with Gents. Hope that you're doing well. I got a stopped up nose, but that won't stop me. Today, we're pilfering. We're lifting an idea from
Fragrance TikTok,
which is 10 fragrances that NPCs wear. I did a react video on Fragrance TikTok not that long ago. Feel free to check it out if you haven't seen it. But apparently, it's all the rage right now to be talking about fragrances NPCs would wear. So let's jump into it and let's check out 10 of them. So you may be asking yourself, what exactly constitutes a fragrance that NPCs would wear? And I've got a great answer for you. Nothing really, actually. Basically, it's just a very popular fragrance where you would look at somebody wearing one and go, ha, ha, look at that guy. He's not the main character. He's an NPC. I'm a main character. I'm over here wearing this and he's wearing that. This is what it's come to. Now we got a video where we're talking about fragrances that are mass appealing, but instead of mass appealing in a way that they get compliments, they're for NPCs. Whatever. Here we go. Let's do it. First fragrance, Bad Boy, Carolina Herrera. I know you look at the bottle and it's screaming out, no, I'm the main character. Look, I'm flashy. It's like Black Adam. I'm Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And then you smell it and you just go, nah, dude, you're Tonka and Coco in a very generic style. Now, as far as mass appeal goes, yeah, Bad Boy's got that. And it's actually not too bad for the skin because I hit myself kind of right in the eye here. Not hurting at all. You heard it here first. Bad Boy, eye safe. Don't do that. I don't want to get sued. Don't do that. Bad Boy's completely fine. It's got versatility. It has mass appeal. The problem with it is it's just not all that memorable for a lot of people, myself included. For me, Bad Boy, unfortunately, is an NPC type of scent, but it's one that's really trying hard not to be. So maybe it's kind of like a little sidekick fragrance. Not cool enough to be the main character, but it's still there trying to get attention. And then we've got Polo Blue Eau de Toilette. I hate Polo Blue Eau de Toilette. I think this stuff sucks. A lot of people will disagree with me. No, man, you're wrong. Polo Blue Eau de Toilette is an awesome freshie. I love it for the gym. I love it for the summer. I wore it years ago. It was my signature scent, and I have great memories while wearing it. To me, it comes across smelling cheap, a bit chemically synthetic. The cucumber note in here just doesn't really do it for me. I think basically all the flankers that came out after this are better than it. And yet, in spite of its mediocrity, Polo Blue Eau de Toilette, a big seller that all kinds of people, like I talked about just a second ago, have worn over the years and purchased over and over again. It's like that summer fragrance that was so popular, but nobody stopped to question why. Polo Blue EDT, get out of here. Following that up with Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce. Fierce is like the random jock character in a horror movie. He's not the main character, never will be, because he's too busy trying to pull his pants down and show you the root of his wang. And you can tell this dude shaves. Like, I didn't need to know that, but you can tell. None of us needed to know that, realistically. Like, do you think that model shaves his junk? Oh, yeah, the answer is yeah. In spite of the bottle here, Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, really popular fragrance that has mutated and evolved into numerous flankers at this point. And you also have lots of other fragrance brands making their version of Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce as well. It's a scent that you smelled 100 million times. The popularity of this never ends. Fierce. After that, we're going with Boss Bottled from Hugo Boss, the big old honkin' 200 ml size bottle. Now, I guess I do need to clarify, just in case you guys are unaware, by including these fragrances in this list, I'm not saying I hate them, because I don't, except for Polo Blue, and actually some of these ones coming up. But the other ones I don't hate, so keep that in mind. I'm not saying each one of these is a terrible scent. That's not at all what I mean by having these in the list. So Boss Bottled, massively popular. A lot of people love the apple pie feeling that this one gives across. Cinnamon and apple. The problem Boss Bottled is going to run into is the same problem that Fierce has, or to a lesser extent Polo Blue, or one of the other ones that we're going to talk about coming up, and that's just it became so ubiquitous. In the world of men's fragrances, Boss Bottled was one of those like 4 or 5 fragrances that a lot of people could name off. At least when it was at its height of popularity. People would be like, oh yeah, I know that one, the Hugo Boss. Even if they didn't know its name was Boss Bottled, they'd just be like, oh yeah, I know that one, the Boss. When you have something that's being used by so many people, it starts to be just so commonplace. And I think that's really what this list is about. Popular fragrances that people like. Why would you wear that? Now you're an NPC. Up next, Luna Rossa Carbon. I would put in Dior Sauvage. I would put in Bleu de Chanel, but I filmed a video not that long ago that had those fragrances in it. So I specifically decided not to put them into this one. So that video was like, if you're trying to smell unique, don't wear these fragrances. And it's some of the most popular fragrances on the market, which I guess is, in a different way of wording it, the exact same thing that I'm doing right now in a weird kind of way. So fragrances like Dior Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, Eau de Parfum, they're not in this list because they were in that one. But I snuck around that by putting in Luna Rossa Carbon, because Luna Rossa Carbon smells like Dior Sauvage with a Prada twist. See, that's very tricky in the world of fragrances. You can not put a fragrance into a list, but at the same time, you can put that fragrance into the list by putting in a fragrance that smells like it. So you could be like, oh man, I really don't want to put Missoni Wave in this list. I'll put in Chanel L'Homme Sport. Luna Rossa Carbon has that Dior Sauvage-esque smell to it. It's got that metallic ambroxan. It's got the lavender. It has the freshness off the top, just not quite as aggressive as Dior Sauvage. But still, there is no mistaking that when you smell Luna Rossa Carbon, it is inspired by the Dior. Now we're gonna go ahead and tackle some Paco Rabannes here, 2 of them in a row. First up, Invictus. You all know my great undying love for all things Paco Rabanne Invictus. Love you, babe. That wasn't weird, was it? Just playing. I'm not a huge fan of Invictus. That bubble gum off the top just doesn't seem to quite scratch the fragrance itch for me most of the time. Again, sorry about my mumbled words. It's because my nose is not working. There are fragrances that are Invictus-ish, Invictus-esque, whatever you want to say it, from other brands that I actually like a lot more than the real deal thing. And there are some flankers that came out after this one that I think are all right. On the whole, though, as far as very popular lines of fragrances goes, Invictus is not quite my favorite, and yet I can't escape it. So to an extent, this one is like Bad Boy over here. You see that bottle, it wants attention. It's trying so hard to be different, but at the end of the day, you just look at it and go, you're not the one, sorry. But if you think that bottle was trying hard, wait till you see this one. It's Phantom. Not of the opera, just Phantom Robot by Paco Rabanne. So if you thought the sweetness, that bubblegum from Invictus was too much, well, that's okay. You can try out Phantom, and then with the vanillic sweetness that you'll get from that, you'll go back and smell Invictus and go, actually, that's not that bad. Now that I think about it, yeah. Phantom grew on me a little bit from when I first tried it, but I still don't really think it's very good. Not for me personally. Maybe for a young person out there. It sounds like I'm a 90-year-old on a stoop. A young person out there. When I say young person, I mean like a teenager. Maybe Phantom works for teenagers. Frankly, though, I think the fragrance kind of sucks. And yet it is pretty popular, which a lot of that is probably owing to this bottle design. You go into a store and you see that, definitely gonna catch your attention one way or the other, for better or for worse. But it screams try hard to me when you see that bottle. Some people love it, to be fair. Some people think it's really cool, very unique, which it is very unique, but it's a little bit too much of, hey, look at me, look at me. Now, what you want to do is you want to get a bottle that looks like this one instead. Le Male by Jean-Paul Gaultier, where it just looks like a dude that's been working out who got his legs and arms chopped off, but maintained his large cod piece fully intact. Oh, and his well-defined butt. So that anytime you hold the bottle, you're just grabbing a dude's butt like you're trying to give him a reach around. That's awesome. I'm just playing. Kinda. I mean, with these 2 bottles, either way, you know, you're either wrapping your hands around a robot or a guy that's been hitting the gym, been doing a lot of squats. Le Male's a classic fragrance, though, done by Francis Kirkjean. It's powdery, it's sweet, it's fresh, it's clean. But for the longest time, Le Male was that fragrance where people would say, I'm not sure I really want to wear this because I've had my girlfriend tell me that their ex wore that fragrance. I don't know why Le Male got associated with that more than other fragrances, but that's what it became. That's what it became known for. People would talk about that online and be like, oh, Le Male, yeah, her ex wore that, so I stopped wearing it. So, I mean, if that's happening enough that it becomes a thing on the internet where people are talking about it and agreeing about it, which people never agree about anything online, then that probably tells you all you need to know about that being an NPC scent. We're gonna follow that one up with a Versace Dylan Blue. My favorite thing about Dylan Blue on TikTok, fragrance TikTok, is on fragrance TikTok. I just have to say that over and over for some reason. On there, People will say all the time, don't wear Dior Sauvage. That's too basic. That's too common. That's an NPC fragrance. Instead, wear Versace Dylan Blue. And when I see that, it's like my brain kind of shuts off. It's like everything just goes dark up here, and I don't know. It's scary. I'll be looking at my phone and I just go, everything just turns off. I've also seen people say on there, don't buy Dior Sauvage. Again, it's very common. The Dior Sauvage, everybody, don't buy Dior Sauvage. Buy Y Eau de Parfum. Buy Bleu de Chanel. This is just a tip, but if you're gonna say, don't buy this fragrance because it's too popular, you're talking about the #1 or #2 best-selling fragrance, don't say buy this instead, the #4 best-selling fragrance. This one is way less common, bro. It's #4. Don't let me tell you what to do, obviously. It's just kind of, ooh. So yeah, Versace Dylan Blue. Believe it or not, this is a pretty popular fragrance that people do know about generally, and it's not crazy under the radar or anything like that. It is Versace's blue fragrance. You could say that Eros is as well, but this one is more of that, not cookie cutter blue fragrance, but follows the blueprint for blue fragrances more, where it has the sweet citrusy opening that has fresh spices, making it a little bit zingy, and Broxton as it dries down with a little bit of incense in there. Very masculine, very modern, very easy to wear. Last fragrance, Explorer from Montblanc. Now for the price, Explorer is a great buy, assuming you're buying from discounters, not at full retail. It's gonna get you something similar-ish in a designer way to Creed's Aventus. Very versatile, easy to wear, compliment pulling, but it has gotten a lot of hype, a lot of love, a lot of attention, both from Facebook forums, from YouTube, from Instagram, from just about everywhere, which means a lot of people know about it. A lot of people wearing it. It's kind of like Club de Nuit Intense Man in a way. You can say, oh, I know about fragrances. That's why I have Club de Nuit Intense Man, because I know it exists, whereas your average Joe may not. And while that may be true to an extent, if you know even the smallest amount about fragrances, then you know about Club de Nuit Intense Man. So the only people that won't know about it are people that probably also don't know about Creed or anything else. And Explorer is kind of like that. So I guess that makes it an NPC scent. So there we go, some wonderful fragrances for all the NPCs out there. Top-notch fragrance content right here. This doesn't get any better. This is the Mount Olympus right here. There are some fragrances in here I really don't care for, but there are other ones that I think are either classics or still really nice scents to wear nowadays. So for me personally, do I give half of a crap that some people would say that these are NPC scents? No, I don't care at all. And you shouldn't either. If you like them, wear them. Who cares? I mean, if you like Phantom, if Phantom is your thing, you smell it, it makes you happy, wear it. Doesn't matter what I think. All right, guys, stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.